Hello, everyone. Today on Tech AI Solution Podcast, we have a guest, Chris Waters from AFMS. So, Chris, tell us about yourself and tell what your company do.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Sartaj. Thanks for having me. I'm Chris Waters. I'm with AFMS. We are a transportation consulting firm. We started in 1982. We have over 3,000 past and current clients. We have 65 team members around the world, covering the United States, Canada, and Europe. And I'm sorry, Asia as well. And collectively, we've saved over $4.5 billion for our clients in those 33 years, actually. So who
Wow.
am I? What do I do? Well,
Yeah.
my background was with FedEx. I was with FedEx for 33 years as well, and
Oh,
came into AFMS about 4 years ago. And what I did at FedEx, I started really at the bottom and ended up in a headquarters pursuit team that was
okay.
organized for the pursuit of the private equity industry. So I worked in the private equity industry for many years, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a great opportunity to not only learn firsthand the finances of America, but also how to apply FedEx in a very, very unique way. What I do at AFMS is I use that knowledge, experience to help clients negotiate better deals, develop strategies on how to run their businesses better, and really produce dollar savings results.
Okay. So, if I have to just sit down, what exactly you do for the AFMS? I was like looking at your LinkedIn profile, and you mentioned that you have the companies reduce their transportation cost. So, does it include the route optimization?
I'm sorry, does it include what?
A route optimization, like which exactly the route should a company
Oh,
follow
sure.
or
Yeah,
logistic
yeah,
company
yeah. We
follows?
can
Yeah.
do that as well. We can do that as well. We can.
Uh,
One thing that I think is important to note in the small parcel industry,
mhm.
you've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah.
UPS and FedEx certainly are the dominant players. They have reduced their facing sales and account management people dramatically. They've lost a lot of tribal knowledge, if you want to call it that. So they've
Mhm.
got some great tools, but if the clients don't know of them or how to use them, they're never going to be able to crack that. That's one of the things that we do. We help the clients optimize what they can get from the carriers, and it's
Okay.
out there. You just got to know how
Yeah.
how to get it, who to ask for, and then how to use it.
Mm.
And that's certainly something we can do.
So give me some more examples of reducing the transportation cost. What one I talked about route optimization. How exactly you reduce the other things, like how exactly you reduce the transportation cost with your knowledge?
Sure.
Or
Well, okay. So, especially the asset carriers, those are carriers that are, own trucks and have personnel and own buildings, right? They have an
Mhm.
infrastructure that they have to feed every single day. Okay.
Yeah.
That means that there's going to be volatility in their demands for business. Quick example, and one that everybody I'm sure is aware of. During the pandemic, they were full of the gills and were pushing business away. Okay.
Mhm.
Today that's not the case. Today they
Yeah.
are over capacity and adjusting. You know, UPS and FedEx are both right sizing. UPS closed 60 buildings last year. They're slated to do another 40 this year. Each one of those
Mhm.
buildings has anywhere from hundreds to thousands of employees. So
Mhm.
they're reducing their workforce, UPS, for the first
Yeah.
time in their history, and they're doing it
Mhm.
dramatically. Okay, that means that the volume is going down and they need business. Same thing with FedEx. So what we do is we take that knowledge, we take the knowledge that we have on how each company is, well, set up and geared to. An example, one of the members of our
Mhm.
pricing team reported directly to the controller of the UPS at one
Mhm.
time. He's still in
Okay.
Atlanta, and he knows
Mhm.
exactly the model that they use to cost out a transaction. Combine that
Mhm.
with what we've seen in the market with our over 3,000 clients, we can answer the
Mhm.
question, how are they building their pricing model and what are they
Mhm.
doing right now? And that right
Okay.
now is extremely important. So, given that, we help clients negotiate better contracts. What I like to
Mm-hmm.
say to clients or potential clients all the time is two questions. Do you have a good deal? If
Mm-hmm.
you think you have a good deal, tell me how you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
more often than not, the answer is my representative tells me I have a good deal. Well, guess what he gets paid or
Okay.
she gets paid to do? Okay,
Yeah.
what we get paid to do is find out what the real truth is. And the truth of the matter is, and I won't go long on this, but
Mm-hmm.
anyone that a client talks to, anyone from a carrier, has no
Mm-hmm.
authority to give them a discount. None. Why? Because it has to go through an approval path. There's
Yeah.
sales, there's marketing, there's operation, there's finance. Everybody has an interest in a deal of any size. Okay, we know what their interests are, and we know how to create a strategy such that that approval path, everybody signs off, and you get the deal or the savings that we think you can get, and that's how we do
Thank you, Chris. Oh, I think you mentioned very important thing for the two questions. That's a very right question there.
it.
How they can determine these things. And if I have to put it in this way, like what exactly are your clients? If anybody, any logistic company out there can be your client, this is like logistic companies are your client, which is carrying the load for different loads.
Not
That is
really.
your client actually.
Carriers
Okay.
carriers are not our target. Our target is companies that ship a product. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, we're mostly focused on small parcel, but we do programs with LTL, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really the market. So not so much ocean or air freight.
Okay. So if any company that is manufacturing anything, that can be your client, like manufacturers are
Absolutely.
your client.
Or
Okay.
distributing. They don't have to
Oh.
manufacture it. They can distribute it too.
The warehouse, the 3PL warehouse and all the warehouses can be your client as well because
Yes,
they
they
are also
can.
moving the parts.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, they can.
Okay. We have to cover what exactly the EFMS doing. Let's now pivot it towards the industry. So, what's the biggest shift in happening in your industry right now, and that the most people are influenced by that shift? What is that shift?
I'm sorry, what is stature?
No, no. So, let's talk about the shift in the industry. Like, what is the biggest shift happening in your industry right now?
Sure. Well, traditionally it was UPS and FedEx.
Mm.
That is absolutely shifting. Big thing is Amazon is coming on as a carrier. Not,
Yeah. Okay.
not as an exchange or a place where you can buy things and sell things, but
Mhm.
as a carrier. Okay. I mean, you
Okay.
see in your neighborhood all the time, I'm sure the Amazon truck makes deliveries. Well,
Yeah.
generally speaking, their origin is a local Amazon hub with goods that are just from Amazon and then delivered to residences around the country. Now they're picking up from companies around the country, bringing them to a hub, but then delivering
Mm.
them either to a commercial address or to a residential address, and never entering the Amazon merchandising
Yeah.
world. Okay.
Okay.
So they are real, and to share, Amazon right now delivers more packages than FedEx and UPS combined.
Okay.
So they have the size, they have the scope, they
Yeah.
have the ability to do it. The difference is they're a little bit narrow in what they want. They don't want the
Hmm.
extremely oversized package. They don't want the very heavy package. They have a smaller box, and they want their schematic of what they want from a business standpoint is smaller than UPS and FedEx. So they're going to stay in that wheelhouse. So they're not going to take everything away from UPS or FedEx, but they're going to take a lot from them. And you can see that in the downward trend in volume. The other thing
Hmm.
is that because e-commerce is actually larger today than it was during the peak of the pandemic, you're seeing
Yeah.
new companies come on board. CDL, On Track. These are regional companies. Some offer a national program, but most are regional. So they're
Hmm.
bleeding off local volume that in the past had gone to a UPS or a FedEx. They do it
Hmm.
oftentimes a lot lower cost. They do have parameters, though. Example, they oftentimes demand hundreds of packages per day or at a single time to be picked up.
Hmm.
And the reason they want that is they offer a
Yeah.
lower price. They need that scale to,
Yeah.
pick up 50 boxes at one time. Doesn't really take much time, more time than picking up one. So
Yeah.
they demand that size in order to offer that low cost. So but it's out there.
Mhm.
UPS, as an example, they have a company called Roadie. It's completely
Okay.
independent of UPS, but it operates
Mhm.
as a non-asset carrier. So they hire in an Uber type model for single drivers, and it's small packages, one, two at a time. But it's certainly taking business away from UPS and FedEx.
Yeah, I think that's a Amazon is disrupting every industry, like even in the e-commerce
Yeah,
industry and a warehouse industry, they are in everywhere. I talked to various 3PL warehouse owners, and they also have the same echoed message,
sure.
like Amazon is disrupting, and mainly the competition is so intense that they deliver some products within a day, and they are dealing with that customer mindset. Like their customer are also expecting something delivered within a day that is not possible on their scenario because they are delivering something on a very high volume. As you mentioned, that Amazon is only going for a sort of small scale and small volume, not a heavy parts one. That's where it got stuck, right? So that's where, and I think UPS at the end you mentioned UPS is also going for that model, and they are going for a local pickup and delivering it in the same day kind of a model. That's how they adapting to the change in the industry, and that's the
Sure.
right way. But don't you think AI? So you mentioned about the FedEx is like laid off a lot of employees there. So do you believe this AI is also involved in that one? Like they have now the work by AI is doing some of the work that being done by the different people right now, and that is being replaced by the AI. So do you believe the AI has impact at this point in this industry?
Well, absolutely. On FedEx's last earnings call, the CEO, Raj Subsamarian, mentioned predictive AI as a
Hmm.
great tool with an accuracy into the high 90s that
Hmm.
performed wonderfully. And give you a quick example of that is what if you ran a local building for FedEx, and it's the same with UPS, DHL, any of the smaller carriers I mentioned, you have to plan for the day, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
you don't know what you're going to get until you get it. Okay, well,
Mm.
if you can forecast with a high level of accuracy what you will get,
Yeah.
you will eliminate or significantly reduce idle workers. And idle
Yeah.
workers are, that's the killer cost.
Exactly.
So yeah, so they're taking that basic idea of forecasting, and they're doing it with predictive AI, and they are having
Hmm.
success, and that's meaningful. That is absolutely meaningful.
Yeah. Predictive analytics is quite a dominating factor in this industry right now. So they can predict that what is coming in the future for the industry. That's a really good thing, the AI. And the industry and companies that are implementing this one will definitely gonna have the edge as compared to the competitors. That's correct. So now let's move on to the next question. So let's talk about your business. Like, tell me one thing that is exactly working very well in your company, and one thing that is complete challenging, and you would want to eliminate that one. So what are those two things?
We're able to hit the mark on a very high level on our prediction on savings. Implementing the correct strategy has been very successful. The carriers have had. I mentioned earlier they've removed quite a bit of facing sales folks and management from their larger accounts, and that's created a void, right? So that void makes it very difficult for customers or clients to reach out, to negotiate, to build relationships, to make positive things happen on their behalf. Our strategies have been working very well. Okay. I think that's because we follow the market in several dynamic ways. From a financial standpoint, we look at them I look at them very carefully as a stock, right?
Mm.
What do they need to do to be profitable and raise their stock price, which is what senior management is focused on. Second, we look at the market on what we're seeing is out there, and then the strategies that we know that can work to persuade the carriers to yield to the concessions that we ask for. And let me add, 85% of the time, the client stays with the carrier that they're with. Okay. And that's
Okay.
usually upon their request as well. Okay, what's
Mhm.
not working? It's not that it's not working, but it's difficult. Today, everybody is, I think, stretched to farther than they ever were before. So getting the attention of the right executives in a company to make changes, to accept an AFMS proposal,
Mhm.
and we give a cost saving forecast and don't charge anything for that. We don't get we have a shared savings model. So if we don't save you a dollar, you don't pay us a dime. I think
Really?
that's compelling. I strongly suggest people take a look at it because it's a review of what you've done, and if we can improve you, why not do it? So
Yeah.
I give the comparison on a personal level to you probably think you should look at your insurance, car insurance, home insurance, but you pay the
Mhm.
bill every month and you just don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think a lot of companies are doing today. That's so what are we doing to change that? We're really enhancing our web presence and trying to
Mhm.
come out with a better digital platform than we have in the past.
Okay. Thanks. So you talked about what's working perfectly, and the second part is you want to convince your prospects like to get to your service, even though you are putting some freebies inside it, but still you're not getting the desired result. Is this right?
Yes.
So let's talk about like looking ahead in the future for this company. Where do you see this company in 6 to 12 months from now?
Well, we have started as a way of client acquisition, developing
Hmm.
relationships with large 3PLs and very, very large audit firms. And we're getting introductions from them to their
Hmm.
clients. Um,
Wow.
that introduction program has worked very successfully and got us in front of
Hmm.
some very big name brands in America. We have
That's
done
good.
business with Toyota, Harley Davidson, Stellantis in the
Hmm.
automotive field. Starbucks is a client. And we have some really big name brand clients. So we're able to do smaller clients, much smaller, but we're also able to do the larger ones as well or work with larger
Yeah.
companies. And this way of networking with companies that
Hmm.
have established relationships with clients is another way that we've started it. And to answer where we're going to be in 12 months, I hope a lot farther down the road. And
Yeah.
we've seen some early success. We need to keep that momentum going.
That's good for the company, Chris. You are getting more clients in your portfolio, and that will definitely bring some more revenue for the company
Sure.
and for the future
Sure.
prospects.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anything you would like to share apart from these questions?
Well, just that I think that, it's really it's a changing and exciting time right now in this industry.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked about rather is Walmart and Target. A
Hmm.
lot of people don't understand, or I shouldn't say that. A lot of people don't realize Amazon
Yeah.
is, the gorilla in the room, but
Hmm.
Walmart has a significant presence in e-commerce.
Yeah.
The CEO of Walmart said that they have over 500,000 SKUs on their website as
Yeah.
opposed to in their store, right? And they have a fabulous offering, and they've got a compelling offering. They certainly have a
Yeah.
huge footprint, and I think Amazon is a big competitor, but Walmart isn't falling asleep or rolling over. So
Yeah.
it's kind of indirect of what we're talking about, but I think that people view Amazon as the end all, and they certainly are not. They have competitors. I think Walmart is a sizable competitor for them, and that's out there that I think it's just going to, it would be a sad day if they didn't have a competitor.
Yeah, exactly. The competition what keeps people like companies in check
Yeah,
and also
yeah,
don't allow them to price higher. And I think Walmart is, I agree, completely agree with you. They are also now following the footsteps of Amazon. They're expanding their digital presence. Now they're completing the SKUs. I think in the upcoming future, they're also going to be going on the same model that Amazon is doing. Like they're going for affiliate marketing. People are like displaying their products on the warehouse and the Walmart as well. So
sure.
that's a big for Amazon, especially in the North America. So
Sure.
they are doing good they have a presence as well. So I completely agree, Chris, what you mentioned.
And they do have a very good and large delivery network.
Yeah,
You can opt to have many things delivered. If you join a certain program, you can have it delivered at no cost.
hmm,
Origin is local, right? They have
yeah,
warehouses all over the country, and they have a bazillion stores over the country, so they can source from store or they can source from
hmm,
warehouse, and then it's a local delivery for them, and it's fast. It can be same day, oftentimes is. So that
yeah,
what can't you buy in Walmart that you can't buy? Amazon offers a lot of the same stuff.
exactly. Thanks, Chris. I think your 30 years of experience has completely reflected in this podcast. So thank you for joining, Chris.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, and I hope we get to talk again soon.
Sure, sure. Kindly subscribe and share Tech AI Solution.